One of the biggest conflicts that people always have when they're thinking of moving to Canada is where they should move to. Should you move to a big city or should you move to a small town? This is one of the questions that a lot of persons ask themselves when they're thinking of migrating to Canada. Now, what do we think about this topic? There are pros and cons to both. In today's video, we'll be having a conversation, a discussion if you call it, about the pros and cons of living in a big city compared to a small town. Now guys, if you're new here, please take a second to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and make yourself known in the comment section. Let us know what you think about this topic. See you guys in the conversation. So you're thinking of moving to Canada, but you're not sure where to go. Should you go to a big city or should you go to a small city? These are the questions that a lot of persons want to know. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video guys, we will be having that conversation. Where is the best place we think you should move to in Canada? If you guys are new here, my name is Dems.
And Nat.
And we are the Andersons family living here in beautiful Grand Prairie, Alberta. We're predominantly from Jamaica, which is hustle and the bustle. And then we came to this place called Grand Prairie, which is like a full stop. In the sense that it is not as hustling and bustling as what we're used to. So we live in a small city. So most of our opinions is going to be based on where we live. And then we have never lived in a big city in Canada, but we know people who live in a big city. And some of the things that they shared with us, we'll be sharing it with you guys. If you guys haven't already subscribed, I think they know what to do already.
Subscribe.
Like the video as well, because when I do that thumbs up something,
share it as well.
it really helps us out, because YouTube will push the video out there a little bit further so that more persons can see it and the family grow even bigger.
Yep.
Right? Subscribe. We said subscribe already?
Yes,
we can say it again.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. That little red something right underneath. Sometimes it's black, sometimes it's gray, but it says subscribe. Hit on that button. Really, really helps us out. If you guys are already in Canada, contribute to the conversation by sharing what are your experience living in a big city or a small city in Canada. So for purposes of this video, guys, we're going to be talking about the big cities that everybody know about. The Torontos, the Vancouvers, the Edmonton, the Calgary, the Winnipeg. These are the big cities that most persons would be more likely aware of. Even though some people don't know that Calgary is in Canada.
Really?
I was very shocked to find that out. Is Regina a big city?
I think it's a big city in Saskatchewan.
Guys, if you live in Regina, drop a comment down below and let me know if it is a big city, because we've never been there, right? But what I would like to say, guys, is that there's pros and cons in where you live, in not only in Canada, but in the world. But what we're going to be sharing in this conversation is some of the things that we think is both the pros and the cons of living in a big city compared to a small city. Would you consider yourself a big city kind of girl or a small city kind of girl?
Big city.
Why?
I love the hustle and bustle, not the calm. Grand Prairie is nice. No,
Yeah?
no shades on Grand Prairie. But I think I would like Edmonton or Calgary more. It would remind me of Jamaica.
So the hustle and the bustle and the chaos and the...
Yes.
You like that?
Yes.
So when we could come to Grand Prairie?
You don't have a choice.
I'm just messing with you guys. But the hustle and the bustle is good, because you have there's a vibe.
Yes. And that's what I'm used to.
But the hustle and the bustle can also be a negative.
How come?
In the sense that the hustle and bustle cause traffic, the hustle and the bustle cause noise pollution, in terms of the calm and the relaxation that you can get in a small city like Grand Prairie, going for a walk and chilling and relaxing.
In the hustle and bustle of the big city, you still have calm and relaxing areas. So you can have best of both worlds.
True, but you have traffic.
I'm used to that.
See, I'm used to going to work, work starts at 8:30 and I'm leaving out 8:15 or 8:20.
Well,
And still get there. I kind of get used to that.
you get used to it because you've been here for 5 years now. But for someone coming from Jamaica, or yes, the hustle and bustle is something that they will be used to. So they adapt to it.
So would you consider the hustle and, well, your answer it already still, the hustle and bustle would be a positive in your end. But for me, the hustle and bustle would be a negative. I kind of feel like I get old to the sense that I just want to relax, easy street, just want to cruise. The hustle and the bustle like taking 25 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes to go across town, stuff like that. Like for example, like I have to pick up the kids from school, go there, so it's a go harder, Probably kind of
That's
drive.
properly. But
Probably,
that's the beauty of Granbury. We don't know if it's with other small cities. It's the same thing.
we can assume that it's the same
Well,
because from what we have seen,
the way that Granbury is structured is maybe not the same in other cities.
true.
So
But that convenience is what I like about a small city. In the sense that you can go home for lunch, you can catch a nap if you want. It's like you can just decide to go somewhere, and it's not a struggle mentally.
well, in the big city, and if you're moving from one place to another, for instance, you want to go to a restaurant in the evenings, it feels like you're actually going out. It doesn't feel like you're venturing next door.
Because in Grand Prairie, you dress up, you put on the clothes, you go in the car 2 minutes at the destination.
Yeah, it
you're
doesn't
like,
feel like you're going next door.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
so-
And you know what? It's the same places that you pass every day too.
Every day.
So that kind of like take away the
Yeah.
feeling of like dressing up and going out. I can understand that. You want to feel like you're
I'm
driving for
going
a little
somewhere,
while
yeah.
and hit the highway a little bit for 10, 15 minutes. If I
Yes.
drive 20 minutes to reach probably Byzance
Yeah.
outside of Grand Prairie. Well, that is true.
That's,
But is that enough?
no, that is not enough for a person to choose a big city. You must know the reason why you are choosing a big city. Do you want to get your food? Do you want to get the hustle and bustle?
Hustle and bustle.
Yeah, the amenities that a big city offers that a small city don't offer. You have to look into that as well.
But it also comes with distraction.
How comes?
Like, and we'll probably jump the conversation a little bit, but like for example, somebody coming as an international student, when they come to somewhere like Grand Prairie, for example, there's less distraction going on around them because there's less things to do. So it's just work, school, and predominantly that's their life throughout that period of time.
Because there's nothing to do here.
There
So,
is things to do here, but
not
not enough,
Yeah.
or not as much as in the big city. So, as international student or a student just coming to Canada will transition easier into school because there's less distraction.
But that's for international students. What about somebody that already is working and just want to feel at home with the hustle and bustle plus food plus culture plus all of those things?
True. It's pros and cons.
Is there pros and cons? to
There's pros
everything?
and cons. But let's talk specifically now about employment or employability in a big city. Now, what we hear and see is hard.
Yes.
There's a lot more jobs, but there's a lot more people. There's a lot more people competing for the jobs that are available. So demand and supply. The demand outweigh the supply eventually because whilst there's more jobs, there's still more people. So then it works out to be less jobs available.
But what I've noticed that persons who are saying that they can't find work in the big city, what kind of job are they looking for? Are they looking for in-demand jobs or would say a regular job that everybody can do?
Well, it really depends, right? I know that a lot of persons might be looking for like what you call specialized jobs in their specialized field. Especially new immigrants, they come and like they were this back home, they're looking for that type of job, which is not always available. Sometimes you have to just take what you get and go up the ladder until you get what you want. But is it a case where like if you want to go into a professional field, it's easy in a big city, easier in a big city compared to a small city or a small town?
I think in a small town or small city, it's easier to go into that field or those fields because there's less competition.
As you guys can probably tell, I'm advocating for the small city. I'm advocating for the small city, and not Surveyor is advocating for the big
I'm
city.
not advocating for the big city, but you have to look at both. Yeah, you will go faster in a small city from what I've observed. less persons competing for a certain position. In the big city, you have thousands of persons competing for just one position or
Yeah.
two. So
Fittest are the fittest.
exactly. So what is
It is a rat race.
so yeah.
So what a lot of persons do, and this is what I would encourage persons to do as well, and this is just my own opinion, nobody come after me now, just my opinion. I think if you're transitioning to Canada as a new immigrant, start out into a small city or a small town first. Grow. Once you get to a point, you can move to the big city because then you would have already had a foundation. So you have that what is valuable Canadian experience that you can put on your resume. And oftentimes, if you are working in a field, you can just transfer to the big city. So you have a job, right? And you have savings, more, you're integrated. So that makes the transition to a bigger city easier. Agree?
Yeah, I do agree. But what would you say to someone that say, yes, I want to go to the smaller city, but I don't have my community.
That is fair. So one of the things that a lot of people I think misunderstand, or I'm not gonna say assume because sometimes it's right. A lot of people assume that small cities or small towns are predominantly racist in Canada, and because of that, they feel like if they go to a small town, they're gonna be not comfortable, and they're not gonna have that support and that community around them. Which I can understand if you're outside looking in, but I don't think. Well, let me not say that. I'm being very cautious in my approach right here, because one thing the big city has over a small town, I can admit, is more diversity.
That's true.
More diversity exists in a big city compared to a small town, but I think the small towns and the small cities are getting there.
Slowly. Should speed up a bit, but it's slowly getting there.
I think they're getting there, and they're getting to a point of understanding that the world is diverse, and you might live in a community or a neighborhood that only has 5,000 people, and you're born there and you only see Caucasian people all your life. Understand that it's gonna grow,
It's gonna go
and
eventually.
there's gonna be different cultures coming in. So what I would say to somebody who is thinking of going to a small town and they're concerned about their own community is to be adaptive. Be adaptive, be nimble, in the sense that it's good to keep your own culture, but it's good also to integrate and learn new cultures
Yep.
and make new friends and build new communities.
That's true.
That's what I would say to somebody like that. Because a lot of persons make the transition to Canada as well, and they go in their community and that's where they stay. They don't explore and go out there and So it's a pros and a cons. And we look at it because you also want to feel that sense of culture. You want to feel that sense of home, especially when you make the transition, come across the seas.
You pack your life in a suitcase and just move.
You want that taste of home.
Yep.
But you have to be willing to adapt. And I think that would be eventually key to your success. The willingness to adapt and build a new community. Build a community and be your true self. A lot of persons have, I will talk about it a lot, the inferior complex. They in themselves, they feel inferior. So because they have that inferiority mindset, the simplest thing, they feel like they're being attacked.
That's true.
And it's really, you're not being attacked, but you're not really as confident in yourself. So everything somebody do
Or
say, you take it personal and you feel like you're being attacked. Whilst there's microaggression that does exist, and it's very important to identify microaggression different from. But we don't want the conversation going a different way. But yeah, big city, small town.
Yes.
So build a community in a small city and grow with the small city, because you will reach and accomplish things a lot quicker in a small city than a big town. Let's talk about transportation.
From the feedback that I've seen on Facebook or comments, persons go to, or even the lady that we spoke to the hotel in Edmonton. There's this Filipino lady working in a restaurant that we went, and she was saying that she came to Canada on LMIA, I think.
Yeah.
And she went to a small...
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember, yeah.
a small city or a small community. And she had to leave work in the nights because she works in a restaurant. She had to leave work late in the night, and she couldn't get home because that small community or city didn't have transportation.
Yeah.
So that's one of the cons
That's one of the cons of
of
living in a
living
small
in a
city.
small city. Transportation can
And
be a hassle.
it can be a big con as well.
Yeah.
Especially if it is that you work and get off work late. Cause even Grand Prairie, the last episode we did with the mayor of Grand Prairie, we spoke about the bus not running
Certain
past
hours.
certain time. But you have to understand as well that for a small city, it makes no sense to invest into a bus system that is not profitable. So it has to be profitable. So if everybody drive and then you have,
Just two persons taking the bus.
it's not gonna be very profitable. So they're looking at it from that logistical point of view. But for a new immigrant, you don't care about that. You just need to be able to get where you get to. Point A to point B. So that would be a big challenge, I'd say. Or a big reason why somebody would choose the big city.
Yeah, so if they can't afford to buy a car.
Buy a car immediately. But in a big city, you have trains
and
you have buses, and you have cabs, you have Uber, you have all these things. But a lot of the pictures that we've seen, especially from in Ontario,
wow,
the trains come like sardine.
oh my God.
So you're going to get a car anyway. Guys, and if you're living in any of these places, please feel free to drop it in the comment section.
Let me know what's happening there.
Let us know if what we see, right? If what we see is exactly what's happening on the ground, because the train door couldn't even lock. One of the videos, them like, the train door couldn't even close. So the amount of
No.
But
that is hustle and bustle.
but you have more access.
Yes, you do.
And you can't argue with that. So transportation, the big city, get the tick.
Yes.
But go back to employment. I think the small city get the tick
for that.
For employment.
Okay. Tick, tick, two?
Tick, tick, 2 ticks.
Okay.
What about healthcare?
I think it's the same. Big city, small city is the same. Canada have a health crisis. So I think it's the same.
I don't think it's the same.
I think it's the same.
I think it's better in a big city.
Why? Because you have more facilities that could help out in certain areas.
Exactly. You have more facilities, more resources. Like even here in Grand Prairie, there are certain things that you still have to go to Edmonton.
Well,
there are certain things that you still have to go to Edmonton to get access to. All right? A lot of persons have to be airlifted to Edmonton, like even kids with special needs, Malika, we have to go to Edmonton for a number of different services. So I think if you're in the big city, you have more resources.
Yes, that's true. But Grand Prairie is improving. There are more persons coming here, more health personnel. So things are improving here.
And if you guys are watching this video and you're a healthcare practitioner, know that the Alberta Health Services has a stream specifically for healthcare workers who want to come and live in rural parts of Alberta to boost up the nurses and the doctors and the shortages that are in these communities. So the opportunities is not gonna always be in the big city. There are lots of opportunities in the small cities as well. And Grand Prairie is just one of many. But this is our home, so that's why we speak so much about it. And we are ambassadors of Grand Prairie, so you don't know what to represent. Smash a like. If you're watching from Grand Prairie, smash a like. I'm not telling again. Culture.
Big city.
We can't even argue that.
Big city. Right now, first, I think this is summer. They're having Caravana in Edmonton. I want to move there. I'm like,
when is it?
I'm not sure.
When is Caravana?
I'm not really sure.
But we go Caravana this year.
Really?
Yeah. We could get we outfit and go Caravana. Because I miss Carnival, I miss back. I can't even argue with that.
Okay.
Culture, big city. And it comes back down to because they have more diversity.
That's true.
So because there's more diversity, like there's more inclusion, there's more things being done. For, Caravana, Carry West,
and you have more persons taking the initiative to keep or implement their culture in the city. So, yep.
True. I think what happened in the small towns or the small cities, a lot of persons come, they want to instill their culture, but I think because they're forced to adapt, they kind of somewhat dilute their culture.
Not diluting.
I think that's what happened because, like for example, I can rent a spot right now, and I can promote a dancehall party or a soca party or a Caribbean party, And guaranteed, most of the Caribbean people here will
Do
not
not
come to
come.
that event.
That's true. That is
But
true.
is it fair to say that, oh, there's no culture? But you have to
You
support.
don't have anybody taking the initiative and sticking with that, and you don't have the support.
I think it comes down back to the support. I think people try. People try. A lot of people try. Like, for example, we know people trying Jamaican restaurant things right now. We know that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people trying to instill culture. But in the big city, you have more people. So you still have more people that support you. In a small city, you try a thing, you're not going to get the support oftentimes from your own community
That's true.
because they're so adaptive that they prefer to go and buy a bucket of poutine than whatever. So culture is somewhat diluted. So the big city have more culture, and we can't argue with that. And more parties and more food options
Yes, more food.
and more everything really.
See over the big city.
No, I'm
side.
still over the small city side because you're going.
No, if you want to go fast or go fast, small city, come, you work, you get that job, you get that high position that you want, you get that stability, and if you want to move to a big city after that, go ahead. That's it.
I think it depends on two factors.
What?
What you're looking for in your life or from your life. And the second thing is what stage of life you are at. Like a person who's looking to accomplish a house, financial stability, independence, that growth mindset, a small city is the best. And what you'll be sacrificing in order to accomplish those things is really your culture, Caribbean, Caribbean, food, your community, essentially, the hustle and the bustle. You'll be sacrificing that in order to accomplish money, growth, and stuff like that. Or if you're not in a rush to get your house and your stuff like that right now, and you just want your stage of your life right now, you just want to enjoy life and travel and free flow and integrate and your culture, then the big city is definitely for you.
I could agree.
The big city is for you, but the thing is, you're not gonna grow.
Fast.
Oftentimes, and not in all cases. Somebody come through now and say, "Oh, in
I
everything
would-
have exception." But in a big city, it would take a bit longer.
Yeah.
It would take a bit longer for you as a new immigrant to buy a house. Oftentimes, and not in all cases.
Not in all cases.
Just to go up that ladder, social ladder, even the workplace. A lot of persons here start from basic, and before you know it, they're a manager, supervisor. In the big city, it's not that fast in most cases. So you'll be sacrificing that in order to get your culture
As
and
I say,
integrate
it
and
all
stuff like
depends
that.
on the stage of life that you're in.
Stage of life and what's important to you as an individual. But one of the things that we want to talk about is house prices and rent. Talking about owning a home.
Well, comparing Edmonton and Grand Prairie, it's almost the same. It's like same ballpark. With Calgary, comparing Calgary and Edmonton and Grand Prairie, no, the prices have gone up.
Yeah, but what we should probably mention is that you earn more in Grand Prairie than in Edmonton because you
Because you
get
have
northern living
living.
allowance,
That's true.
right? So a lot of places pay an extra percentage on your salary because of not where you live, and you get that $11 per day. Is it 11 or $12 per
I
day
think $11.
that you can file in your taxes just for living in rural parts of Alberta that you don't get in Edmonton and you don't get in Calgary. So rent is pretty much the same, but you're earning less
That's true.
in Edmonton. So in that sense, rent is cheaper in Grand Prairie. Calgary kind of get out of hand right now because I'm not taking offense to this, but the same people that run up a rent in Toronto move go to Calgary, go run up the
It's
rent.
not offense, it's the truth, and it's obvious, and it's on social media. So
So these are the same.
they're leaving from Ontario and come to Calgary, and the prices are skyrocketing.
Yeah, and the same thing happened in Nova
But-
Scotia as well
and-
because they moved there in COVID. Man, I think one of the things is because houses are so cheap in Alberta compared to Ontario, a lot of persons are selling their homes in Ontario, buying homes in Calgary in Alberta, and renting it for the same price that
As
they
they
would
would.
rent it for in Ontario. So that's driving up the rental prices.
Maybe.
But then again, why would you want to leave from Toronto to Calgary? Might as well stay at Toronto because it's the same for the same.
Well, thinking about it, yeah, it's the same.
It's the same for the same. And the prices are gonna go up eventually because but anyways, that's a different topic. And stuff. Guys, if you're here so far in the conversation, please take a second to like the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and talk to us. Let us know what you think about the conversation so far. So if you could go back in time to 2019 when you're just coming to Canada, would you still have chosen Grand Prairie or would you have chosen a big city? Knowing what you know now.
Knowing what I know now, yeah, Grand Prairie.
So you're not a big city. You're not a big city then.
Well, I want to be city, but I have achieved a lot here in Grand Prairie, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to give it up.
So you see, technically, it's just the flashiness just in front of you. But when it comes to the nitty gritty,
Nitty-gritty,
you see,
yeah.
say, in the nitty gritty part of things, the small city is really where things happen.
Yes.
For me, I think we'd excel even in a big city. It would be harder because we couldn't move to Edmonton with $100.
No.
But I think we would excel if you have enough money to support yourself and wrap back on. I think we would be able to excel in a big city because there's more opportunities.
Yeah, it's more, but you wouldn't have grown so fast.
True.
Remember that part.
We wouldn't have grown so fast.
True.
That's right. So I would go wherever you went. So if you wanted to go to the big city, I would be there. And I wouldn't know that there's such a place called Grand Prairie. But like, look what the people of Grand Prairie have there. And again, there's just a lot of misconceptions. Now, is Grand Prairie more racist than anywhere in Canada?
I don't think so.
Is Grand Prairie more cooler than anywhere else? No, not really. Right? So it's just a lot of misconception, I think, and because people feed off other person's experience.
Yeah, you're going to have persons that have experienced maybe racism or whatever it is because they met one person or two persons that actually
Don't go up there. That is what's happening there. Don't.
exactly, because I've seen comments where they're saying Grand Prairie is like the worst place to live. For a black person, don't go there. So I am black and I am here. I'm not saying that I have not come across persons that have been racist. I have, but they're not important.
And
They're
it's more on an individualistic point of view rather than a all-wide systematic community point
you
of
have
view.
99% of these people. They're nice. 99.9.
Exactly.
You just have that
And then you
percent.
have the 1%,
That
and
is-
as I said, it's more on an individualistic point of view.
Exactly.
And you might encounter it. You
Yes.
might encounter it.
We're not hiding that fact. You might encounter it. We're not hiding it.
But then that is why you have to be confident in your own self that even if you encounter it, you deal with it. It doesn't break you down to a point that you're gonna move away from
But-
all of the pros and all of the cons. You just tackle the microaggressions, you just call it out, and you deal with it. That's my approach.
That's it.
I just go straight and say, well, go on.
Wagwan.
Yeah, man. But not everybody's like that. It's a inferior complex. But what I wanted to know was, holistically speaking, big city or small town?
Small town.
Get the nod at the end of the day.
Yes.
But big city go to for vacation. For vacation. And I know a lot of our subscribers watching this right now. I say, hey, listen, Dems, I'll try and live here, sir. I'll try and live there, sir, and stuff. But in truth and in fact, easy street. The hustle and the bustle. More gas in your car, more car repair, more road range, more I can do it all.
More
that.
of everything.
I can
Everything
do
is
it
in
all
excess.
I can do it all that. I just want to be cruising, right? Easy street. Just take my time, get there, look at nature. Yeah. Can't bother with it.
Everybody should, persons that are coming should assess themselves or assess what they want, what they're looking for.
Stage of life, exactly.
Yes, and you determine where you want to go.
Because it can feel a bit claustrophobic here.
It is. At first, we came here in 2019 and we were ready to leave.
Yeah.
And then we said, okay, after you finish school, we're going to leave. We're still here.
Yeah.
We're still here.
Small towns can feel a bit claustrophobic. So you have to make sure that if you decide to go to a small town, it's what you want.
It's what you want.
It's what you want, right? And just make a decision and tough it out. But don't make a decision based on false hope. Like,
do your research. Do your research. And don't take one person's opinion or two or three. Do your research.
Do your research. That's it. And don't just listen to somebody who say, don't go to small towns, this and that, blah, 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 blah. Do your own research. And then come to your own conclusion. Because everybody's journey is different. Everybody have a different experience. Not to discredit anybody who have a bad experience, not to say that they did not experience that, but just know that there probably is an anomaly, right? They are not it doesn't represent everything.
Exactly.
It just represents an individual. Know how to separate one person's experience from everything else. Equally speaking, you might go to a big city and excel.
Yeah.
Because in everything you have exception.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm a small town kind of guy right now. And there so it is. So drop in the comment section if you guys think that a small town is better than a big city or a big city is better than a small town, vice versa. Just let us know. But before we finish that, I would ask you 5 quick fire questions.
Okay.
Right? Just for, because the audience hasn't seen you in a little while. Just so they can, get to know what's going on. Now,
Okay.
these questions are just, don't overthink it.
Random
Just random.
questions?
5 quick fire questions is, if you could spend a day with anybody, past or present, who would that person be and why?
Right now, I'm thinking about Bill Gates.
Yeah, why?
He's among the richest person in the world. I want to tap into his brain. I want to talk to him. Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. Now, what would you say is your superpower?
Oh, my superpower. What is my superpower? I've never thought about that before. I think right now, I think it is that I'm able to read people.
Yeah?
Yes, I'm able to read people.
What may I say now?
You may I say? I'm able to read it, but not read exactly what you're thinking.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Okay, now, what would you prefer? A lifetime, right? A lifetime of predicting what the future holds, like you can predict tomorrow, or would you prefer to go back in the past?
Wow.
And change the future?
Wow. Oh my God.
Like, would you prefer to know what's coming, or would you prefer to go back and change?
Know what's coming.
Why?
Can I if there's bad situations, bad things that are coming, I can avoid it. The past is the past. I don't want to change it because the past led me to where I'm at now. So I just want to see if they're good or bad things in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, blue pill, you are the richest person alive. Red pill, you pick 5 persons to be the richest person alive, but you then become the poorest person alive.
Richest, I'm sorry. Yourself first. I'm sorry. The richest. And then I'll help the other 5.
See, I would pick.
I'm
not
not
about
gonna
me still, but I would pick 5 persons and pick you in it, because if you are in it, then I'm the richest person alive too, and I'll get to help 4 more people.
I'll sell first. Sell first, and then I'll help the other 5 out of my riches.
That's fair. And the last question is gonna be tough. Canada or Jamaica?
Wow. 6 months in Canada, 6 months in Jamaica.
You have to choose. You have to choose.
Oh my gosh. Canada.
Why?
I've lived over 30 years in Jamaica. I know what Jamaica has to offer. Canada is a lot of opportunities. I didn't have those opportunities in Jamaica, so I want to make use of the opportunities that are here.
Okay. Well, guys, there you have it. That's nuts right there in a nutshell. Thank you guys so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I really hope you guys found it interesting. Don't hesitate to drop in the comment section what you guys think, not only about this video, but also share what you think about this video right here or that video right there, and hit that subscribe button right down below. Before you leave, give us a thumbs up. It really helps up. Before you leave, leave a thumbs up. It really helps out our video for it to go out some more and reach more audience. If you're watching from Grand Prairie, thank you for your support. And anywhere in the world you're watching from, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for your love. Thank you for supporting us. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.